Yes, good evening everyone. Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. This is DTRS session, Daily Takkar Rapid Series. In this lecture series, daily we are discussing 10 best MCQs based on the current affairs of that day. Now this is class 232. Since the 2023 prelims examination, from the next day onwards, we have started this lecture series and now we are completing for prelims 2024. So this lecture series is very important and we are compiling these MCQs in a monthly magazine which is available at Lukmaan IAS website. You can subscribe for those magazines also. It will be a very good practice, let's say, material for all of you. After reading the monthly magazine of current affairs, you should solve these 200 MCQs based on the current affairs. Now today's lead topic is Artemis Accords. It was in news. So let's try to solve the first MCQ based on this topic and other 9 MCQs based on the other 9 relevant topics of the day. But before that, there is one small announcement. Panchasutra All India Prelims mock test are going to be held. And the dates are 20th April, 4th May, 18th May, 26th of May and 1st June of 2024. So as you may have, let's say, completed your subject-wise revision and the subject-wise tests, you are supposed to give several All India mock tests so as to understand where you stand in the competition. And along with that, we have to also evaluate our preparation from time to time. So we need to test our preparation, and we at Lukmaan IAS has, let's say, these 5 All India Prelims mock tests which are free of cost. ठीक है, यहाँ पे कोई आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन फी नहीं है, कोई भी चीज नहीं है. बट let me tell you that the best of best MCQs are being framed here by the faculties themselves. Along with that, the same day discussion will be held for GS paper in both English as well as, we can say, Hindi medium students. Okay, so this is good opportunity. If you have not registered yet for this Panchasutra test, do register now itself, because tomorrow itself on 20th of April we are having first Panchasutra test. It will be held both online as well as offline mode in Delhi as well as our regional centers of Pune, Ahmedabad and we can say Hyderabad. Okay, so you can register at Lukmaan IAS website. Fine. Now daily we are discussing first one quotation which is helping us to prepare for our mains examination also, the subjects like essay or ethics paper. ठीक है, तो we can expect such quote based topics in essay or quote based questions every year. 3 questions are asked in ethics paper also. Now today's quote is, there is only one corner of the universe you can be certain of improving, and that is your own self. A very, let's say, important quote here. What it is saying, there is only one corner of universe you can be certain of improving. That means you can change that. You can be certain of changing that. And that is basically yourself, own self. It is very important. Why? Because when you try to change the other people, they may or may not change. They may or may not change. Okay? So we learn in ethics paper about how we can change the behavior and attitude of the people. There are different methods. It can be, we can say, through legal, let's say, aspects, law, punishment, that acts as a deterrent. Or it can be through persuasive aspect also, social influence and persuasion we learn in ethics paper. But that may not result into what we intend, okay, the changes in the other people. So what we can be certain is changes in the self. ठीक है, हमें पता रहता है हमारी क्या गलतियां है या फिर हमारे लिमिटेशंस क्या है. We can identify those limitations, our mistakes, and we can improve them so as to become better of ourselves. ठीक है, जो कल हम थे वो हम आज बेहतर बन सकते हैं. कैसे? हमारी जो मिस्टेक्स है, हमारे जो लिमिटेशंस है, उनको इंप्रूव करके. द सेम इज अप्लाइड टू योर प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रेटेजी. व्हेन वी आर गिविंग ऑल दीज टेस्ट, so when you evaluate them, try to understand where you are making mistake. What were you thinking while solving those MCQs? We have to identify that thinking process and change it. So when we change that, surely the result will be in your favor, and this is how you are going to be a successful person in your life. ठीक है? तो yes, of course, we need to change continuously. We need to adapt also according to the situations, circumstances, conditions, and along with that, we need to be better every day. This is how life should go on, and we should try to achieve the wisdom, the philosophical aspect. The Aristotle talks about achieving wisdom in Greek philosophy, or Buddha talks about achieving enlightenment. तो ये सारी चीजें जो है हमारे लाइफ में हमने इंप्लीमेंट करना चाहिए. एंड ऑल दीज पीपल हैव एक्चुअली फोकस्ड ऑन इंप्रूविंग सेल्फ, एंड व्हेन दे अचीव द विजडम, देन दे ट्राई टू, लेट्स से, शेयर दैट मैसेज टू अदर पीपल सो दैट दे कैन ऑल्सो इंप्रूव. ठीक है? So this was the quotation. Now let's talk about today's 10 topics. These are the 10 topics we have identified important for our examination. Let's go in detail and solve these MCQs one by one. So online students also, you can give answers in the comment box. What should be answer to this question? Artemis Accords. Yes. So recently it was in news because Sweden became the 38th country to join the Artemis Accords. So second statement is purely based on the current affairs, but the first statement is based on the static aspect. So these Artemis Accords are basically related to the peaceful use of, it is related to peaceful use of space, outer space we can say, for, let's say, civilian welfare of the humanity. And this was first, let's say, brought in by US Department of State and NASA along with other 7 member countries. Okay, India last year in 2023 became member of Artemis Accords. You may have covered this in current affairs. ठीक है? तो it is very important development, and yes, basically it was built upon the foundation of Outer Space Treaty of 1967. So India is also signatory to Outer Space Treaty. This is correct statement. This is also correct statement, and that's why answer would be C here. Very good. ठीक है? तो C is the correct answer about this Artemis Accord. Remember this now. All right. Which of the following can one come across if one travels through the Bungo Channel? Okay, Bungo Channel was in news recently because the earthquake of 6.4 magnitude was observed, recorded in that region. Where is this Bungo Channel located? It is a mapping question. We can say that a current affairs based mapping, let's say, point. Now, Bungo Channel is basically a kind of strait. It is a strait separating 2 islands of Japan. Which are these? Kyushu and Shikoku. We know that Japan is basically made up of 4 big islands. Which are these? From north to south, Hokkaido Island, northernmost. The biggest island below that to the south of Hokkaido is Honshu Island. Then south of it is the Shikoku Island, and then south of it there is Kyushu Island. Okay, so between Kyushu and Shikoku there is one strait, and this is called as Bungo Channel, and recently the earthquake, let's say, recorded in that region. So what should be the answer here? A is the correct answer. Good. ठीक है. So you should be ready with such kind of, let's say, straits related and geography related topics. Fine. Now, the space initiative. Yes, it was in news recently. Why it was in news? You tell me. What is the full form of space? Also, you should be ready with this, क्योंकि वो भी आपको prelims में पूछ सकता है. ठीक है? So space is basically the submersible platform for acoustic characterization and evaluation. Let me again tell you. It is the submersible platform for acoustic characterization and evaluation. Space. This facility was recently inaugurated by DRDO and Indian Navy. This is developed by DRDO at Idukki, Kerala. One of the facility of we can say Indian Navy in Kerala, in Idukki. Okay, and it has been developed by one of the laboratory of DRDO. Okay, so basically it is the submersible platform, and it is to, let's say, ensure that a premier testing and evaluation hub for sonar systems for Indian Navy. This is correct. Acoustic sound related sonar, वो आप logic use कर सकते हैं. Basically, it will help Indian Navy to develop its capabilities related to, let's say, warfare, anti-submarine warfare, we can say, anti-submarine warfare. For that purpose, this is being developed. Along with that, there are many civilian uses also related to research and development. Okay, so A is the correct answer. Remember this, DRDO laboratory. Okay. Now, next question, it is related to heat wave. Recently, the humid heat wave was observed in Mumbai. The linked phenomenon of this humid heat wave in Mumbai with the torrential rainfall in Dubai that had happened because of formation of an big anticyclone, or it is called as heat dome effect. Okay, so it was in news recently, and that's why heat wave related basic question is asked in India. IMD releases several, let's say, color coded warnings related to heat waves. Now, the definition of heat wave depends on the physiography of the region. That is true. So, in plains, in coastal areas, and in, we can say, hilly areas, different temperatures are considered by, जैसे plains में absolute temperature, if it is more than 40 degrees Celsius, and if there is deviation more than, we can say that 4.5 to 6.4 degrees Celsius, it will be called as heat wave. It will be declared as heat wave. If it is more than 6.4 degrees Celsius deviation, that will be called as severe heat wave by IMD. ठीक है, और अलग अलग फिजियोग्राफिक रीजन्स के लिए टेम्परेचर्स अलग अलग कंसिडर किए जाते हैं. लाइक कोस्टल के लिए 37 है, एंड इन हिल्स इट इज लेस देन 30 डिग्री सेल्सियस. Okay, now heat wave severity is determined by its departure from normal temperature. Just now I told you, departure from normal temperature up to this point, it is called as heat wave, and then more than this, it is severe heat wave. So this is also correct statement. Heat action plans in India are prepared at state level as well as at district and city level. So look at the statement. Heat action plans are the state level strategies in India with the central database to reduce the negative effects of heat wave. It is talking about state level strategies, but it is also, let's say, planned at district level as well as city level. So we can say this is incorrect statement, and only two are correct in this question. Okay? So B is the correct answer. Now, moving on. Yes, this index was in news recently, Nifty Next 50 Index. So we know Nifty 50 Index, ठीक है, Nifty 50 जो है, तो top 50 companies in the country having, we can say, one of the largest turnovers, and we can say in terms of profits also. These are Nifty, but next 50, we can say. So in top 100, out of these first 50, remaining 50 will be called as Nifty Next 50, and they are included in this index. This represents about 10% of the free floating market capitalization of the stocks listed in NSE. Now this is correct statement, and it was introduced from the 1st January 1997. This is also correct statement about the historical aspect, and we have to identify the correct statements. Answer would be here, both 1 and 2. Okay? All right. Now, moving on. Yes, how many of the above African countries share the land border with Burkina Faso? Burkina Faso was recently, many times it is in news. In last 2 years, it is because of it was in news because of several coup attempts, military coup attempts. Along with that, recently it was in news because it expelled the French diplomats. because of certain anti-national activities being carried out. उनको ऐसा लगता है कि वो सही नहीं है. That's why they are expelling the French diplomats. So in past, UPSC has asked question on those countries which are facing some unrest, civil unrest, or we can say some political conflicts or war-like situation, terrorist, let's say, attacks are happening in those countries. Burkina Faso is one of the West African countries, and it is having the border. Niger is having border. Then we can say Togo is there, Mali is there, but Guinea नहीं है. ठीक है, कोस्टल साइड में आता है गुनिया और सेनेगल. दिस इज लैंडलॉक कंट्री. बुर्किना फासो इज अ लैंडलॉक कंट्री. तो तीन अगर देखोगे इसमें तो तीन हम बोल सकते हैं कि दे आर हैविंग बॉर्डर. विच आर दिस? लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट मैप. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे देखिए माली इज देयर, देन नाइजर इज देयर, टोगो इज देयर. अदर थ्री कंट्रीज आर बेनिन, घाना एंड कोट द आइवरी. कोट द आइवरी. ठीक है, सो ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर हियर. Now, Delphi, this was in news recently. What is Delphi? AI related developments. You should be ready with your, let's say, preparation from the current affairs for our science and technology part in prelims examination. What is Delphi? Delphi is basically a AI powered platform, digital cloning platform that allows users to create digital clones of themselves that can mimic their thoughts and speech. Very, let's say, unique and novel kind of development happening in AI. ठीक है, so it can be, let's say, voice to we can say video kind of, let's say, conversion, or new kind of things are happening. ठीक है, जैसे आपको वॉइस 15 सेकंड के लिए रिकॉर्ड करिए और आपका जो वॉइस में है वो कोई भी वीडियो में वो वॉइस ला सकता है. ठीक है, so such kind of developments are happening now. This one, Delphi, it is basically AI powered tool, cloning platform, digital cloning platform. It can mimic the thoughts and speech of people. So A is the correct answer about this one. Fine. Then 8th question. Whooping cough. Recently it was in news. Why? Because the cases of whooping cough are increasing around the world. Be it Australia, France, or Spain, or we can say Czech Republic. So in these countries, the cases of whooping cough are increasing. Whooping cough is also called as pertussis, and it is, let's say, caused by bacteria Bordetella pertussis. Now we know that बच्चों को जो है DPT वैक्सीन दिया जाता है, एक ट्राई वैक्सीन. DPT में D होता है डिप्थेरिया, P is for pertussis, that is for whooping cough, and T is for tetanus. ऐसे आपको याद रखना है. ठीक है, so P is for pertussis, and this is basically whooping cough. And it has been found that the long-term effect of this vaccine is reducing over the period. Many researchers have said that the increase in the air pollution is also declining the immunity of the people, and therefore the cases of whooping cough are increasing. Yes, of course, the young children and babies where the lung development is not, let's say, that much proper, they are more, we can say, prone here and can prove fatal to them. But adult can also get infected. Okay, so both statements are correct. The infection is caused by this particular bacteria and difficult to detect early and mainly spread through respiratory droplets. This is also correct statement. So all three are correct statements about whooping cough pertussis. ठीक है. Now, group of 7 or G7 countries. Yes, we should be ready with the regional groupings or international groupings, political organizations from the international developments. It is part of our current affairs also. Now, European Union is a sovereign member state in G7 group. Now, we should understand sovereign member state is a country, and European Union is not a country. It is group of, we can say, a supranational body. It is a supranational body, and that's why it is not an enumerative, let's say, member of this G7 grouping. It is non-enumerative member. ठीक है, तो G7 grouping consists of which countries? We know about this basics. It was formed in 1975. Earlier it was G8, but Russia was expelled after the annexation of Crimean Peninsula in Ukraine. ठीक है, तो 1975 में तैयार हुआ था. Which countries are there? 2 countries from North America, Canada and US. Then 4 countries of Europe, UK, Germany, France and Italy. 6 हो गए. And 7th is Japan in Asia. ठीक है, ऐसे याद रखना है इनको. G7 countries. Now they, let's say, represent more than 60% of the world's GDP. Look at this statement. 62% of the GDP globally. This is correct. And the decisions taken at G7 are not legally binding. That is also true. This is not a formal body. Rather, the interaction among these G7, let's say, leaders is having some kind of, let's say, moral influence or political influence, strong influence. Why? Because these are very strong and advanced economies. And the other countries listen to the decisions of these, let's say, countries in this body. So this is also correct, we can say. Okay, so first is incorrect, second and third is correct. 2 statements, B is the correct answer. All right, moving on. Last question for today. How many of the above mentioned countries have border with Mediterranean Sea? Mediterranean Sea is continuously in news, and this is favorite area to ask question by UPSC in mapping section. Favorite area, West Asia, Mediterranean region. So be prepared with that. Mediterranean Sea, we know about the country's border. Israel is having border with Mediterranean Sea. Then we know that Syria is having border, Turkey is having border, but Jordan and Iraq, no. So we know Iraq is having border with, we can say, Persian Gulf. Okay, and Jordan, Gulf of Aqaba, Red Sea. Gulf of Aqaba, Red Sea. ठीक है, तो ये 2 countries नहीं है. So what should be the answer here? B, only 3. ठीक है, fine. Any question related to these 10 MCQs? All right. So lastly, one small announcement. Those who are watching this video, and if you are in the first year, second year or third year of your college, and if you want to pursue your career in the civil service, so this is a good opportunity for all of you. We at Lukmaan IAS are coming up with the IGPI program, that is Integrated Guidance Program for IAS. Now this program is designed in such a way that the students who are, let's say, college going and they are in graduation, but they want to explore their career in the civil services. On Saturday and Sunday, the sessions will be held on the basics of NCERT and your syllabus to provide a pre-foundation. For 2 years, there will be pre-foundation preparation of your examination. Along with that, your personality development sessions will be held also simultaneously, like the current affairs developments will be discussed by the faculties, or group discussion sessions will be held, GD sessions will be held, and this will help you to prepare for your other career options also. Your personality will be more holistic and more competent to, let's say, opt for any other career also. अगर आप इंजीनियरिंग में है तो लास्ट ईयर के आपका जो कैंपस इंटरव्यू होता है, जीडी होता है, उसके लिए जब आप करंट डेवलपमेंट्स के बारे में ज्यादा जानते हैं, तो ऑफ कोर्स देयर विल बी मोर, लेट्स से, outspoken personality you will be reflected in that group discussion, and you will be able to provide well balanced arguments in that group discussion. ठीक है, तो that's why it is going to be very helpful. After 2 years, there will be a 400 dreams test that you can appear. This will be a scholarship test based on the basic understanding of the subjects that we have in the UPSC examination, based on the basic knowledge that you get from NCERT in these 2 years. And you can earn the scholarship for 1 year foundation advanced course at Lukmaan IAS. And this will provide a foundation to give your first attempt full-fledged manner and become IAS examination. IAS officer. ठीक है, तो this is a good opportunity to know more about this. You can visit the Lukmaan IAS website and you can register for this course. Fine. Okay, let us stop.